Today we're going to talk about the three people you need to take advice from. Um, I am the guy that doesn't like to necessarily go figure things out if I know that there's a quick way to find the answer, because time is really important to me. And instead of just struggle and struggle and struggle until I finally figure it out, I'd rather just ask. The first thing that you need is number one is you need a mentor or multiple. That's a big preference, is to have several mentors. So have a mentor or several. I am lucky to have several mentors that I can go to and say, hey, for this issue, I don't feel like I'm doing it right. Like, what do you do? How do you bid this type of job out? What do you do for this? What kind of products are you using? And they can walk me through some of that stuff. I've been so lucky to even have a guy say, hey, do you want to come on a couple of these jobs with me, or I'll go on some of the ones with you. And he hasn't even charged me for that. We just, for the first time, started working on a job that we'll probably split. But he's been a really good mentor in the fact that he's just, he's giving me information and not charging me for it, just because he knows that it's tough to get started and he wants to help. So you need a mentor, someone that you can bounce things off of. Number two, you need people in your industry. People in your industry are already going to have the experience, and you can feed off of their experiences. If you don't have experience in something specific, ask someone else in the industry. Get friends in the industry. You don't look at everyone as a competitor. Look at them as just probably someone that you might want to hire someday, and become friends with them. Don't just push them away and be like, I don't like that guy. He's trying to take business from me. No, we're all in the same thing together. And man, you've been doing that particular job for a lot longer than me. How do you do this? Are you frustrated with any of that stuff? So learn from other people. And then the number three is your suppliers. So it's okay to get advice from your suppliers, but only certain types of advice. With this one in particular, I definitely take this one with a grain of salt. But it is good advice, because suppliers usually have a lot more experience than you think, and they get feedback from all their customers, so they hear it from a lot of different people too. Now, I advise you to only take experience in this order. Don't take it the other way. Don't go first to your supplier, then your people in your industry, and then your mentor. Do it in this order. Your mentor, he gives the best advice. He or she, they give the best advice. People in the industry, sometimes you get some stuff that you're like, this guy told me that, and it turned out to be terrible news or whatever. And then suppliers, sometimes they have no idea what they're talking about. But more often than not, they really do know what their stuff is. So an example of me making that mistake and going the wrong way. So when I was first starting, I needed to know how much chemical to mix in with water in the tank, and what the percentages were and stuff. And so first I just kind of tried it, and I put in way too much. And so I went in and I asked the supplier. I was like, hey, how much do I mix in on this? And he was like, what are you mixing right now? And I told him, and he's like, you're mixing how much? Does it look like milk coming out of the sprayer? That is way too much. He told me something. Then another guy that was in the office told me something. Let's see, the sales lady told me that she's been doing a route for years, and she told me a different mixture, and everyone's telling me something different. And I came out of there just as confused as when I went in. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to someone in the industry and ask him. So I called someone else and said, hey, what are you guys using? How do you mix it? And I still got a few different stories and even different products. And then one of my mentors I went to, and he's like, no, mix it this way. This is all you need. Don't mess with the mixture. But what I did find was he was the closest to being exactly right. everything does take a few small tweaks. And so I started just testing the product out and seeing how much I needed to put in for different types of bugs and testing it my own way. But start up here and go down. This is most important, the best advice, then the people in your industry, and then, you know, your suppliers or whoever else. So learn from my mistakes. Hopefully that helps you out with whatever it is. It doesn't have to be pest control, but, you know, whatever business. Those are the 3 people that you need advice from. You'll get advice from family and friends. You should do this, you should do that. Take those as ideas and not advice. They're ideas. You don't have to follow them. They may or may not work. A lot of it's actually probably going to get you in trouble if you take everyone's ideas and take them as advice. But these are the people where advice actually means something. All right? Thanks for watching. Middle class or middle income to millionaire. Subscribe and like the video. Thanks.